question about the settlement with Coolville. How much did that cost the township?
Well, we're not allowed to say yet because we don't have it completely settled, because we have no papers signed yet. So,
Is there going to be a meeting where that decision is gonna be voted on?
what do you mean?
You made an agreement with another township
Right,
to settle a lawsuit.
well, not really another township, it's just the
Okay.
fire department.
Another public entity.
Right,
And
No,
that should be on public record.
no,
They're not
again,
public
they're
entity.
not public.
They're a private fire department.
Okay, that's fine, but you're not. So.
Correct.
Where is the record of that vote by you three to agree to that agreement that the court has because they've already closed the case?
you already what?
Closed the case?
Well, I don't know what exactly closed, not, there ain't been no papers signed yet.
Well, where are these papers at?
Prosecutor hasn't brought us any papers to sign yet, trustees to sign it, so it's not really settled till the paperwork's done.
Has these papers been entered into the public record?
We don't have them, so we can't put them
I
in
don't
our
have the
public record.
paperwork.
You have not reviewed an agreement that you're making a settlement with the Coolville Fire Department. You haven't reviewed that agreement.
I don't have the paperwork.
I didn't ask you if you had paperwork. Have you reviewed the agreement that you're making with Coolville?
We haven't refused it because we don't have the paperwork to show exactly what they want yet.
So you're telling me that you have no clue of what that agreement between you and Coolville is gonna be?
So, he brings us the paperwork, but we don't know what they settled for sure.
And how much do you think it is? How much have you agreed to?
We don't know that for sure either.
So if they come back and say, I want $1 million, you've already agreed to $1 million?
They can't take any more than what the levy money was,
Okay,
which was
And-
42,000 some odd dollars.
and so we've decided that we owed them the money?
My opinion, we didn't owe them the money, but the prosecutor says we,
So you're agreeing now that we owed them the money?
I'm not.
You're going with your attorney's recommendation that you're going to agree to pay them. I think you need to get that entered into the public record, because there will be a Freedom of Information request to see it.
As soon as we get it, it'll be, anybody can see it, but we don't have it yet, what I'm saying.
I guess you're not getting what I'm saying, but okay.
Evidently not.
I was just wondering when you had to vote on this. So you haven't voted on this agreement yet?
No,
When will this vote take place?
whenever he brings us the paperwork, we have a meeting to do it.
Okay, you're gonna have a special meeting to do it?
Well, depends on when he brings the paperwork.
If he brings the paperwork tomorrow, are you gonna have a special meeting?
We'll have to have it.
Okay, under 121.22, paragraph F, I would like to get on your mailing list, and I would like notification of when that meeting is.
I'd say it'd probably be one of
No,
our
no.
regular meetings, I don't know.
You don't need to say when it probably would be, just send me the mailing. I don't know what the fee is. You should
There
have
is
already,
no fee.
there is no fee?
No,
No.
there is no fee because it's Public Records Act is what it's referred to as.
I'm not
Anybody can-
talking about the Public Records Act. I'm talking about 121.22, paragraph F, which stipulates that if a person requests it, you will provide them notice of a meeting mailed to their house. Now, if you're gonna have a special meeting, I'm requesting,
You're requesting if we have a special meeting, you wanna be notified?
yes,
Okay.
you can mail it to my house. And one other question,
Make sure she has your address before we.
I will. One other question, Young Road. It's been over a year.
Alright,
You have not discussed Young Road, except for when one gentleman came here and you berated him about how long it had been. Now, is there any plans? Last month, you said you were denied any state funds for slips and slides.
As soon as we find out if there's some funds out there for us to get, then we're going after them.
And that would be road funds, correct?
Be what?
That would be road funds, correct? And
Well, yeah.
when
for that.
you buy equipment to work on the roads, does that come from road funds also?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes? So you're proposing to buy $100,000 backhoe before you fix Young Road?
Well, I don't think we even decided on buying.
You didn't
that.
decide, but you thought about it and you've talked about it.
Right,
And you went out and requested estimates.
sure.
So you have $100,000 set aside for a backhoe, but not to fix a roadway?
No, there's no fund set aside.
So you're gonna
No,
finance,
that's the point.
so you're gonna finance $100,000 with in public funds?
When we purchase new equipment, we finance it, yes.
Okay, but I think you need to finance fixing your Young Road.
How we gonna finance it?
You can't legally finance.
We can't finance a road.
Well, then I guess you're gonna have to stop spending money in other places and start spending money on roads, which is the sole purpose, the most important purpose for you guys being here.
But you don't understand either. It's easy for you to sit back there and say that.
I went and looked at the road 6 months ago. I could have fixed it with my John Deere. It's really bad now.
I don't think you fixed your John Deere, but that's your opinion. Everybody's got one of them.
Yeah, I
The
know.
thing of it is, we have to buy something. It's just like when we bought the white 550 out here, we had an audit. We hadn't bought anything in, what, 8 years? I think he said, somewhere in there.
By the time span.
They made us go buy that truck, buy something, or they gonna take part of our money. The state was.
Well,
So what do you
is
do?
that in the public record?
Huh?
Is that in the public record?
It was in the audit thing, when was that? That's been 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember exactly.
5 or 6 years ago was one of the audits.
Okay,
They
well,
recommended we buy, purchase, finance a new piece of equipment.
I just tell
it
you
was
that,
it was recommended that you did.
well, she said, if we didn't buy something, they're gonna take part of our money.
It
And
was a
would-
strong recommendation.
And would part of that money be okay to allocate for fixing roads?
It would have been if we hadn't had to
Would-
spend it.
You could have spent it on a road rather than buying a new piece of equipment. But you didn't buy a new piece of equipment, you bought a used piece of equipment.
No, we didn't.
You bought a new Ford pickup, my mistake. That was probably a decent investment then.
Yeah,
Yeah, brand new on Rikert's lot. Of course, you weren't around then, you don't know, but.
No, I wasn't around then.
You're playing catch up, but you're assuming, and that's dangerous. That doesn't do too good for you, you know?
I assume a lot of things I assume that my elected officials are capable of doing the job that they're elected to do. You're elected to repair the roads. The main purpose of your job is to keep the roads in repair. What about Metcalf Road? You agreed to fix that, and that was 10 years ago. And it's still not over.
it's done.
It's over and done.
Is it settled at the court?
It is.
It's a,
Well, it's still on as of right now, it's still on the record. But why did it take so long?
Because we didn't know exactly what the guy wanted.
The guy wanted you to maintain the road in the same manner
maintained
that
the
you
road.
maintained every other
There's no
road.
gravel on that road though. And we couldn't keep putting 50 ton of gravel on that road for one guy down there. When we have roads the school bus runs on it, we gotta keep up, you know.
There is no priority as to which road gets maintained and which ones don't. You can shut the road down if you need to, if it's not being used. And he attempted to do that with Metcalf Road and that was denied.
We didn't shut the road down, it was on non-maintained status, that's two different.
Okay.
But none of us three had anything to do with that.
How long have you been in office?
I've been in here for 20 years, I'm on my 20th year. I wasn't even at the meeting when that was done.
Okay. And in 20 years, Not one of yous, I don't know about the other two, in 20 years, you didn't step up and say, hey, that's our job, why don't we just do it? Why drag it through the court for so long?
We tried and tried and tried,
Okay. Well,
but
thank
you
you.
don't know what kind of guy we're dealing with.
No, I don't.
So, I mean, it's not,
But that doesn't address Young Road either. Because I know if it happens to the road that I use,
okay.
it's
If we
gonna be the
take-
exact same thing.
If we go fix Young Road, say we just decide tomorrow to go fix Young Road, this township would be bankrupt because it'd take every dime we got to fix it.
Have you allocated any funds to fix it in the future? Have you allocated any funds on a monthly basis from a year ago when the work needed to be done and it wasn't as bad as it is now? Or did you just throw up your hands and say, we'll wait until we get state funds?
We don't have anything else, we don't have any choice to wait till we get state funds. We have to go with the recommendation of the county engineer.
Now, what did the county engineer recommend that you do about Young Road?
Drill it, put what's called a wall, they call put in there,
Continuous core drill,
yeah.
And what was that gonna cost?
Well, to fix Young Road and 119, you're looking about $800,000.
And did he offer up any other options?
No.
Did you ask him about any other options?
that is the engineer's preferred method of fixing
It's his
slips, and he won't sign off on anything.
It's his preferred method. Have you taken him to court and said we can't afford that, he needs to come up with another idea? No, but you go to court for everything else. I thank you for your
Well, if we
time.
take him to court, then we gotta pay attorney fees. We have to go hire a private attorney because he represents the county too, and he won't represent both of us in the.
I understand that would be a conflict of interest, he wouldn't be able to do that. But how much money in township funds has been spent on paying you guys to show up at the court? For paying you guys to meet with an attorney? Paying you guys to do all of those legal matters?
We get paid one sum no matter whether we meet, whether we don't, whether we stay home.
Right.
Exactly. Well, wait a minute, whether you stay home,
We get paid a certain amount every month. If our budget goes down, we take a cut in pay. If our budget goes up, we get a little bit of a raise. Bottom line.
okay, my mistake, I misunderstood, I'll have to do some more reading. Thank you.
Let me interject here if I can. Sir, I don't know your name, but I've been the one coming to these meetings discussing Young Road. I live on Young Road, as does this gentleman.
Okay.
It has been a year.
Right.
It was a year on May 21st. It is now 382 days. I just want you to know that I was told, how many months ago, 6 months ago, that there was a grant proposal submitted to the state of Ohio to Public Works.
We did.
And I was told that in July 1, the new funds would be released to fix Young Road.
But they haven't released the funds yet.
Do you know about that?
I know that last month,
Yeah.
they said at the meeting that the state would provide no funds for road slides or slips in southeastern Ohio.
Is that what you heard?
That's-
So there is no money available, right?
Well, I don't know about that because.
Well, if
Now-
what he says is true, then there is no fund, the state's not gonna fund it,
Well,
right?
At that time, no, but there's a House bill on the floor right now for, I forget what it is, 5.4 million to fix road slips and infrastructure and.
Is this road, Young Road, is that considered a slip?
Yes,
Bob, you and I stood there the day that it was being created, the slip was being created. Are you sure it's a slip?
I don't know what else to call it. What do you call it?
I call it negligence. I saw you guys take a backhoe and take out all the bedrock, right where that hole is. That road's been there since 1934. During WPA days is when it was built. I've lived there since 1972 and there's never been a problem there. And now, after you all took the bedrock out, because you didn't wanna hit the protruding stone on that hillside, is where that hole is. And he's right, it was fixable a year ago. And maybe not with a John Deere tractor, but with very little effort.
Well,
It was fixable a year ago, it is a terrible mess now. People are raising Cain about it, you can't imagine the hole there. If you haven't been over there to look at it,
I looked at it.
when, recently? How about yesterday? Did you look at it when the tree was across the hole?
I didn't look at it yesterday, no.
Did you look at it when the tree was across the hole? There was a tree that fell because of the erosion right across that hole. A huge tree.
But for us to fix it, we gotta have money, funding from somewhere.
Well, where have you been for the last year, Bob? Where has the township been for the last year? We need that road fixed.
Where are we gonna get the money?
I don't
You tell
know.
me.
That's why we elected you.
We're trying to get the money.
What efforts have been made? Can you list out the efforts other than, and then what, sitting here talking about it?
We filed a petition.
What's
Soon
a
as
petition?
they
I don't
don't-
know what a petition is. What's a petition?
It's not a petition,
Well,
it's the
okay.
paperwork for the grant money.
Yeah, for the grant.
Where, is there a copy of that available to the public?
Yeah, I'll have to get it.
Where would it be?
It's in my paperwork, sir.
So can you give me the date that that was submitted?
No, I can't, not off the top of my head, sir.
Give me an approximate
I
time.
don't know, I don't know, it was last
Well,
year.
we've talked about this and
I know, and I don't, I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
Okay, well, do you know, Bob, when it was submitted?
I have no idea when she done it.
Something that's important is that road, and no one knows anything about when the paperwork
Well,
was.
she'd have to look the paperwork up.
I will have to look it up.
I can't remember all those dates.
How many other paperworks have you submitted for grants? How many other proposals for grants have you submitted?
One other one for
One.
whatever route it was.
119, probably.
119.
119, I was over there, my gosh. Hey, you call that a problem? You gotta call that a problem?
Well,
It's not a problem, boys.
that's a matter of opinion with you.
Well, it's not a matter of opinion, compare the two. Compare the two and tell me which one's the problem.
Well, Ring Road's the worst. I
What?
gotta say that. Young Road's the worst. I gotta say that.
About 100 times worse. You got a little indentation in the side of the road and one lane's blocked off and had cones in
So we'll just take $400,000 out and we'll
Okay.
fix Young Road.
it. Okay,
Okay?
is that,
What
got
we
that
gonna
down?
do
You got
the
that in the
rest-
minutes?
What are we gonna do the rest of the year?
I don't know.
We'll close township.
We've been waiting a whole year to get that road fixed.
We'll just close township down.
Hey, you closed down Young Road.
Whatever.
Whatever. Well, we're getting tired of waiting for some action, and things just get worse and worse and worse. We need to get out that way. There's people that have to go out that way to go to work. Now they gotta go drive around, 4 or 5 extra miles to get to work. So, I'm glad you're here, sir. I've been the lone voice for months.
Well,
I don't know where you live or who you are, but thank
I
you.
don't use Young Road, but I know that if, what's the road we use to get out? Montal. I know if Montal washes out, they're not gonna fix it either.
A problem for some is a problem for all.
Yes.
Well, we have a lot of people that use Young Road. There's a lot of people, now they gotta go all the way around another 3 or 4
Oh,
miles.
yeah, no, I understand. And if Montal Road was to wash out, I would have to go all the way around.
Okay.
And that would be a huge inconvenience, and I understand.
I was told that, what's the big deal, everyone, all getting out. I was told that. I didn't respond that, Bob, you can get to Athens by going to Tupper's Plains too, from where you live. The fact is that we have a significant issue with safety, fire department getting in there. It's got a horrendous amount of more mileage to get to our place, and EMS, and also people going to work. I got people working Marietta, people have to go that way.
We understand that.
Well, I didn't think you did because of your guys' responses.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So in other words, what you're saying is that trustees ain't worth shit. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that, but if that's,
But that's what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't
you're
say
saying
that.
it.
Did I say that?
You're using the words, but you just ain't saying it. But you're saying we're not doing our job. Right?
I'm waiting a year to get my road fixed and you haven't fixed it. Now, you make the assumptions.
Well, we're waiting on the engineer to draw it up now so we can submit it.
Well, you mean
You have
Jeff Maiden? Jeff Maidens has, information over there?
He took pictures, he's been there twice and looked at it, and
Have you checked with him on how, the progress he's making?
I haven't checked with him in the last month or so, no.
A month or so. What did you say last month?
He's working on it.
He's working on it.
That's all I can say. That's all we get.
What does that mean, he's working on it?
He's an elected official just like you, pushing.
Well, you can only shove them so far.
No.
Then they get mad and they don't help you at all.
Well, that's what we're afraid you're gonna do.
Yeah, that's,
Cause that's typical township
I mean-
trustee behavior.
Well, I'll take issue with that. That's not
Go ahead,
typical
take
township
whatever
trustee.
you want, Rance. I've been around you for a long time too.
none of you guys even live on a township road, to the best of my knowledge.
They don't.
I think you all live on Lot Ridge, and I'm not sure where you live, but
Two of them live on Lockbridge, I think.
yes. So you don't have to deal with you, but we do.
I don't know what to say. I know we're trying to get the money and that's the best we can do.
What efforts have you made, Bob, to get the money? That's what I'm curious about. You say that, but I don't see any effort. I don't know of any effort. I'd like to see the paperwork.
You'll have to get the paperwork.
I will do that.
That's all we can do.
When can I get the paperwork?
I will look for it tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
And then how am I gonna get it? Come over here and get it from you, or
I suppose I can deliver it to you if you'd like me to do that.
you can mail it to me?
If you'd like it mailed, I can mail it or I can deliver it.
You can't get there. Young Road's closed. You could get there, I'm sorry. That was being facetious. I'll give you my name and address and you can mail it to me. I'd like to see the grant proposal for the mountain. I imagine that the engineer signed off on that grant proposal?
They don't have to sign off on the grant paperwork. The paperwork is just submitted to OPWC. And then they have it in-house.
Have they been in contact with you guys?
Who, OPWC?
Yeah, mhm.
No, we contact them. And no, I have not been in contact with Don,
Donna, ain't it?
Donna Kirk, no.
There'll be a contact person on the grant proposal, I assume, I can get in
Yes.
touch with, okay. Now that I have the floor, I'd like to talk about a water system on Young Road, if that's okay. It's been a year, actually it won't be a year until July, we started working on this. Remember, Bob, when we went over there and talked to those people? Well, we've gotten on enough easements on Young Road from all the property owners for them to have a couple of different options on the route that the water system would take. Okay? They're really enthused about doing this, the Tuppers Plains District, Water District. You have water over there?
I do, but I don't use it.
Oh, okay, well.
It is there.
We're hauling water.
Oh, well then, I would, yes.
So flush toilets, that kind of stuff.
You should get the water if you
Yeah,
can.
we might not drink it, but eventually, but we can still, we'll be able to flush our toilets.
Gotcha.
So we got enough easements now, and Tuppers Plains Water District is very enthused about this. They started the process of doing income surveys, because there's certain money available for low to moderate income residents. I think 51% of the residents that will be affected have to be low or moderate income, and they can get some CDBG grants. That's Community Development Block Grant, I'm sure you knew about that. There's also doing water testing now. Most of us have submitted, they've come out. We didn't submit, they came out and took it right out of our taps. And there's a number that have E. coli. So that's another, I hate to say it, but that's positive. A positive E. coli test is positive for the water system because there's monies available through EPA and various health-related funding sources for that. So they're actually stacking different funding sources on top of each other to get this done. They think that the engineering will be done here soon. As soon as they get some funding lined up with the possibility of federal infrastructure money, there may be a lot of money available for water systems, especially in rural areas that have been without it. So we're real pleased with the response out of these people. Derek Baum and his associates over there are really been positive, and it's a lot of people are smiling, thinking they're gonna get some water soon. So, we just love to have a road too. That's all I got to say.
What did you say, they have to do an income survey?
They're doing an income survey, an annual, they're asking people anonymously to submit their annual incomes and the number of people that live in their household. Because if 51% of the people that'll be affected by this water system are below a certain income guideline, and I don't know what those guidelines are, I guess I could look them up, but they can be considered low or moderate.
Okay.
There is funding available for water systems. There's a number of different funds available for water systems, and they're trying to get as much of the different funding sources as they can. Well, I'd like to talk to you, Bob. I've been to a lot of these meetings. I've missed the last few because of various other reasons. But I've never heard you all talk, I hear you all talk about, make decisions about buying batteries for vehicles and all this, but I never hear you talk about what road you're gonna work on, what culverts you're gonna replace, or who's gonna get chip and seal, and how you doing all this. I never hear those kinds of discussions at these meetings. Obviously, decisions are made somewhere, sometime, somehow, but they aren't made in this public meeting. So, I find that curious.
We put the culverts in when they need it, okay? We find the culverts is bad, we go put it in. No matter whose road it is. That's the way we work on the culverts. As far as the chip and seal, we usually discuss who's gonna go first, and who's gonna go second, and who's gonna go third.
I've never heard road maintenance issues discussed.
We only do that once a year on the chip and seal because.
Well, I know, but I never hear any discussion about roads in these meetings, in these township meetings. Mostly it's about paying bills and equipment maintenance. Okay, I'm done.
All right, we'll move on, reading the bills, pay the bills.
Got any more public speaking?
Well, sounds to me like it's about over with. Yep. 30 minutes.
So it's over with.
Yep.
Well, that's just a hell of a good note.
Huh?
I said, that's just a hell of a good note.
Why?
What are you gonna do with Varner Road, Kincaid Road?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Bob, you told me when you was down there working on it and patching them holes, that them roads had to be fixed, and this was in the whole ball of wax when this started, that they had to be fixed back the way they was in 72 hours. It's just like running on a washboard down there now. The culverts are starting to sink down there by the Lottridge Cemetery where Ron Copeland lived. It's sinking in. The one down by Charles Bucks is sinking in. The roads is all cratered out. And you told me that the roads had to be run to Vanderhoof and up that way. They run dump trucks up over the hill all the way up through there.
Well, we can't stop them because they're making deliveries.
What do you mean you can't stop them? If you guys said the way the plan was written, they had to come out and go to the hard road and then out.
But if he's making a delivery out on Lottridge Road, and he has, it's just like anybody else's truck going out through there loading.
I don't think so. They even run up Blackwood Road to Vanderhoof. And the question was, when this all started, they had to go out to the road,
I understand
back
that.
on the 4-lane, and then go wherever they wanted to go.
I told him about that.
And you told me they wasn't gonna run even up towards McCoy's and beat that road to death. They run in and out of there all the time.
But how do you stop them?
You tell me. You guys,
You guys seem like you got all the answers, tell me how
Bob,
to stop. The
you-
law says they can use a public road, right?
Create your own police force, you have the authority to do so.
Huh?
Create your own police force, you have the authority to do so.
Yeah, we got
You
all
can
kinds of
waste,
funds
you can
to
waste
do
money
that.
on a fire department, you can waste money on a police
you
department.
you guys wrote this all up through Jeff Maiden. The way the route was supposed to be run for the, everybody agreed, that's the way it was.
But you can't stop him from making deliveries, what I'm saying.
How do you know that they're making deliveries? I bet you I can follow them clear to Tucker's Plains.
One reason is I know because he told me where he tucked the stone on that one road when I got onto him about it. Okay?
Yeah,
It went over to Brian Williams' son over on, that's Buck Lake Road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Buck Lake Road. So he make a delivery.
well, if that's a delivery and them big heavy 50-ton trucks, I would think they'd be going to Coolville and over to Tucker's Plains, then back around up 681.
To Brian Williams' house.
Well, yeah. Dave Keller, he used to run up and down there with the dump truck all the time.
Well, we got him stopped, Ransom talked to him about that.
Why did they go up, Buckley, Blackwood Road to Vanderhoof?
I assume he had a delivery up there, I know he had delivery up there a couple times, he took the stone out to, Simmons for him.
Well, you know, it's only, what, mile further? Stay on the hard road, back out to Coolville, go up that way. They're running that road to death, and I just wanna know what you guys are gonna do with it this summer. It's just like a damn washboard over there, it's holes and craters, and they filled up a bunch of stuff with stone the other day. And it won't last
He's
long.
supposed to be digging out those soft spots and refixing them.
There's one that's up to high. It's shoved up clear over in the ditch.
We'll have to stop over and have a talk with him.
I know he's trying to help it, but it's all started when that yay bird was gonna start stone quarry, you know, maybe 15 or 20 trucks a day, if that. Why, they hauled for 50 trucks a day when they was hauling dirt to Tucker's Plains.
I know.
Load after load after load after load. And I called Jeff Maiden about it, he didn't even have ass enough to return my call.
Well, see what we deal with sometimes.
Well, you guys at least return your call, he wouldn't even answer to return the call.
We have the same problem. I mean, dealing with the county officials and the state officials is a pain in the butt.
Well, I know this, Bob,
And
but just like, it's like that road, they wrote up on the thing that it was gonna be fixed to the standards it was in 72 hours.
that's exactly right. It's on there.
And they dug it out and dumped stone in it, but it's all washed out now. Humped up, rutted out.
So we'll just have to talk to him again.
We'll have to have a talk with him again. Him and
He's not living up to
Sean
the
Ray both.
If we don't get the right answer, we'll have a prosecutor send him a letter.
And I'll tell you another one I've heard. They're even core drilling over to Butch Robinson's over in the bottoms. Where are they gonna go with the trucks when they come start that?
That I don't know for sure. I've heard two options on that. But he wasn't planning on traveling West Robinson Road. The last option, he was gonna take it on up to the stone quarry up through the hollow somewhere. And he also, you don't know it either, but he's also leasing the Summerfield for him.
I heard that too. And I also heard that he was gonna go up Wattridge Road.
Up Wateridge Road. We mean,
What is it? What number is it?
Varner, it's Varner to Lottridge, is that what you mean?
I'm talking from over there in you guys' road to the highway.
Lakewood?
What's the road number on your guys' road? The county road.
53?
Yeah. He told me that he'd wanna go that way with the loaded trucks.
well, He's talking about putting in another crusher down there on Summerfield, so he can come out on 53 down there.
Well, you know,
But I haven't seen any plans on any of that stuff yet.
Well,
That's
they're-
hearsay.
they're over at core drilling right now,
I know they're gonna core drill bushes.
and they're back over to Putnam's, core drilling it again. Why, I don't know.
Oh,
But if this gets as big as they think it's going to, you guys gonna have damn 4-lane in there, cause you ain't never gonna hold when you got them tri-axle trucks running in and out there.
Well, see, that goes back to the county again.
Yeah,
Major was supposed to help us get a grant to concrete stabilize that road,
it's been over a year.
and he's kinda backed off on that. It's just like he slipped. You just gotta keep hammer and hammer and hammer.
But that road it's getting worse and worse and worse. I don't think chip and seal's gonna hold it either.
Chip and seal ain't gonna hold it. Only thing we can put chip and seal down there to try to keep the dust down for you guys. That's about all we can do for that.
And they paid for that last year when we sprayed it, they paid for that.
Yeah.
We
He
didn't
did
have,
pay for it.
we had a little bit of taxpayer money and fuel, and that was it, so
Well, you know,
they paid for all the material.
it's a real damn shame when a few years ago, before this crap started, that was a good road clear through there.
Yep.
And now it's went to crap. You know, it's just like a salt pit road, what it is, or a stone pit road. All the big culverts out through there, I think the one at Coleman's might be starting to settle, but the one at Ron Copeland's is with the Luttrell Cemetery, it's already settled. The one right there by Charles Buck's down there next to my gate, it's already sinking in. You gotta watch get over on one side of it.
Down for you, okay. The what? Oh, that new one we put in
Yeah,
there?
that 3-foot culvert you
Yeah,
put in
that
there,
new
or
one we
whatever
put
it
in
is.
there.
Yeah, it's already. And you know, you can't run 80,000-pound trucks on a blacktop road.
I understand.
And one day when it's hot, you can just go out there and watch the tar tracks.
Well, you look at the highway where they run them
I know.
semis up and down through there. You just got a tractor driving, and then when it rains, you're driving water about that deep.
Yep.
Yep, I agree with you, 100%. It's a tough thing, because the law is on his side than our side, on a lot of that stuff.
And the way they run in and out of there, I ain't gonna tell you which ones it is, cause I seen the name on a lot of them trucks. And they run in there like their asses on fire. In and out. You know, they'll be running 35, 40 mile an hour down through there.
Well, they ain't Cochran's trucks. But
No, I know they ain't Cochran's trucks.
he told it, he had a meeting with his drivers, and he told us about it, that if he caught them speeding out through there, they would fire him.
Well, I know whose they are, but it ain't Cochran's.
There's no speed limit on it.
The buses and everything else running up through there.
We can't put a speed limit on it, that's up to the state. Well, state puts a speed limit on it, who's gonna patrol it? You know, it's a tough situation for everybody. Not
Yeah.
just us up here, but everybody.
Everybody that lives on there, everybody that lives up through there.
And people travel it. You know, I travel, my
Yep,
wife travels it,
yep,
kids travel.
yep. And probably 12 or 15 more cars besides that comes over the hill every morning.
Yep.
And back in at night. But anyway, I just wanted to ask about it.
I didn't call him because I figured you didn't get back.
All right, let's move on. Reading of the bills. Need a motion to pay the bills and money sufficient?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Put another ink pen there. Mine don't work.
the bills. For the total that we had from the last meeting to this meeting, we spent $51,868.85 on bills and payroll. Mine was $1345.65, Bob's was $778.19, Chris's was $766.59, and Ransom's was $857.01. We had a bill from Matt Cochran Trucking, which was for it was for April. It was $3,573.24. And it was for 298.29 tons of 67 and 26.55 tons of number 24. And I don't know what 24 looks like. I assume it's small, but I don't know. Big, I don't know.
It's a little bigger than,
Trash, A1 sanitation is $24. That was should be for June.
So they know the way around it there.
American Electric Power for the Township Garage, was $83.10. The power for the fire department was $131.80. Tuppers Plains Chester Water, the total bill was $100.60, but while we're here, I need to ask you guys to make a motion the leak insurance is due for the township building and the firehouse. And the leak insurance, which if any of you have Tuppers Plains Chester Water, the leak insurance, it says, the board approved the following leak insurance policy. As you know, the billing is behind approximately 1 month. Leak insurance would be in effect for any loss due to a leak occurring after July 1st, 2021. The annual fee has been set at $25. The fee would be due July the 1st of each year. A form will be mailed to each customer prior to July the 1st, which is what we have right here. It says the customer would be required to notify the district when a leak is discovered and when repairs are completed. This would ensure that the correct time frame is being used to calculate the loss. The customer would pay their average usage, which is held in the computer based on the last 12 months, and the balance of the bill would be paid for the leak insurance fund. We reserve the right to request proof of repair and the right to refuse due to negligence or lack of action by the customer. The leak insurance fund will pay up to $500 maximum per year per customer. After the maximum is reached, the customer would be responsible for any additional costs for the remainder of the year. The fund cannot be used to cover the cost of filling a pool as it is not a leak. And it says if you are interested in participating in this program, please complete the form below and return it with your payment of $25, cash or check only. And I just need a motion to know if you all want to purchase the leak insurance for the township building and the
Move to purchase
And the
insurance,
fire
leak
department.
protection.
I will second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Randy's Ag Parts was $314.50. That was for, ferrules, I think that's what that is, copper line, a yoke, hubs, bolts and nuts, and more ferrules. One bill was $236.75, one was $12.15, and the other one was $65.60. And I believe they were all parts to fix the grader, am I correct on that? Is that what all this was for now?
I don't know, I'd have to see
Okay,
to try and decipher.
because nobody put it on the bill, I thought it was all for the grader. I'm sorry. If I need to change it, I will. Shade River Ag Service, it was for straw and, grass seed for the cemeteries. When they started work on the cemeteries, it was to patch, bare spots in the cemeteries. The Ohio Treasurer of State, the Marks radios for the fire department, we have a fee that we have to, the fire department has a fee that they pay quarterly, and it's $10 a radio. So this quarter was for $60, and that's what it is per quarter. This one is from, 1/1 of 21 to 4/1 of 21. Bedrock rental was $70. It was for a compactor for the new building at the firehouse. They actually sent the bill for $75.07, which they had tax of $5.07. I have the tax exempt form here, so it will go in with the check. So the check is only written for $70 instead of $75.07. NARS was $46.93. It was for a 2-gallon tank sprayer and for a pipe wrench for the firehouse. And the tank sprayer was for the township building. I assume it was just to put, I don't know, it was weed killer, is that what the sprayer was for?
Spray the truck beds down when we haul, coal patch.
Fleet Pride truck and trailers parts, there was, sorry, I thought it was for the grader. Did they send us the wrong bill?
The hub,
Mm-hmm.
Yoke, hub, what's that? Looks like RIGT, but that ain't.
Because occasionally they do send bills that are not ours.
What did we put a hub on? 2 something. And then that extra wheel they put on the front of the case mower tractors.
Extra wheel on the mower?
Uh-huh.
No, I came with it. We've had it around here. You mean the,
Okay.
That we
Yeah,
laid
wheel
out.
for the front of the deck.
yeah, it was
Okay.
here. That's, no,
Okay.
we didn't buy that.
Okay.
Well, we bought it, but years ago when we bought the tractor.
Right.
Well, here's the same thing. Yoke, hub.
Well, the pink and the white copy, the pink and the
I
yellow
seen
copy
that,
are the
yes,
same.
I seen that. But I still can't decipher Randy's. I just don't know.
Well, I can
But
call
But anyway,
Sue- I
it's
can
parts
call Sue
repair.
tomorrow.
All of this is parts repair.
Who signed the bill?
It's on the front one.
I can't make that out either.
I'll call Sue tomorrow. Maybe she knows.
Well, I was gonna guess at that. Must be Eric.
That's why when you guys, when there's invoices that come in, that's why you guys are supposed to mark, or they're supposed to mark what piece of equipment it's
Well,
for.
it had been, it was an $85 item, so it had to be pretty sizable.
Well, don't sign that check, and then I'll call over to Randy's tomorrow and talk to Sue directly, and make sure that they were actually ours and not someone else's.
What we would put a hub on?
And then it all depends on what they call a hub.
Well, that's true too.
And again, it all depends on what they're talking about a yoke. On the 25th, May the 25th.
Wasn't last week?
Just leave
Well, I
it,
can't
and I'll
remember
call,
sending.
just pass it back down to me, and I'll call tomorrow.
Okay.
Don't sign it.
Okay.
Fleetwood Pride truck, this is for the, this is the tanks that were purchased and then returned.
Did we get the full credit for that?
We only got $899 credit out of it, out of the $1,100, cause I'm assuming the other portion was shipping and handling. I'll have to
That'd be
go
a
pull
lot
the
of
bill.
shipping.
One tank was 900 and the other one was 1100.
Yeah, we have 1,100, and then we have a credit memo for $899.99. when I called the lady today to get the actual amount, she said we owed $186.39.
Is that for truck flies, that fuel tank?
Where we ordered the one that wasn't the right one.
And they sent it back. And then we got a credit for $899.09.
That difference between the two could be the shipping on both of them.
I'll go,
Both of them, that's probably the shipping on both of them.
cause all I got was a statement today, and then I didn't understand. why
Their
they
national
made the
garage was
difference.
$1,500, so that's still, I mean, we always try to shop around, find ways to save money, and that was, you know, the tank was shot, there's no welding, there's no fixing, it was shot, so,
The first one was $1,100, the one that we got credit for was $899.
yeah,
And
the
our
one,
statement's
the wrong one was the $900 one, and the right one's the $1,100 one, which is on the unit now sitting out there, so.
Well, the total that they actually gave us was $194.83. I couldn't come up with it, and when I called the lady today, she said the total that we owed was $186.39. So that was the difference on the tank. Riverview Industrial Supply, they had purchased 12 packs of gloves. That was $58.03. Miller Communication, this is for Firehouse, it was $1,351, no, I'm sorry, it was $1,351. It was for the new mobile unit that goes in the, ODOT truck. And then it was also the, base radio power supply that they took out of didn't they take it out of here to
Yeah.
test it?
Yeah, they had to fix it, it was broke, it had an issue.
So the one mobile was $800. I don't know what an HAD 4021A is. I'm sorry, but I have no idea what that is. It was $72. The base radio power supply was $179. To install the radio and the antenna was $175, and found the antenna connector bad, replaced it with new connector, all ops good, was $90, and then the service call was $35.
You say it was fire department?
No, it was for us.
Oh, okay.
It was for us.
Yeah, the space on,
It was for the UDOT.
that was on the pickup that was bad.
Sorry. Usually Miller Communication is for the firehouse.
Okay.
Napa, it was $79.20. It was for shop, it was for a screwdriver, set of pliers, and 8 cans of 12-ounce can of something. I don't know what that can was for, because I don't know if it was
Freon,
it Freon?
yeah.
I don't know, it doesn't say, it just says 12-ounce
Yeah.
can.
Freon for the pickup truck.
That was $79.20. County Engineer's Office, this was for cold mix that was purchased at the end of April. It was 2 tons of cold mix for $78. $78 a ton, so it was $167.70.
He dropped his price a little bit then.
No, that's about what it's been.
Well, last year we paid
$95.
$92.
Performance signs, we had to purchase 5. Big stop signs, they're $78 a piece, $390. Township Association, the townships within the county are part of the Athens County Township Association. The letter says, we hope this finds you, your family, your officers, and your township healthy, happy, and doing well. In the immortal words of the Grateful Dead, what a long, strange trip it's been, and we are not out of it yet. Although, with the good weather and possibly vaccination effectiveness, the small glimmer of hope has been shining lightly. With that said, the executive board of the Athens County Township Association met this week and discussed some issues we need to address. The first of which is, again, our annual dinner. We have decided to postpone until fall. Perhaps the coast will be clear and we will feel good. Second is the annual 2021 dues to the Iowa Township Association. We usually collect and submit on your behalf as part of our normal spring dinner correspondence. We decided to bill for and collect the OTA portion only and waive any local association or fees due now. We feel the the local association treasury can absorb expenses for now. We do not want to plan too far ahead, as we know all things, we know anything can happen between now and fall, but the fact remains that we owe the dues money to the state association. This is a legitimate township expense. Please return to Tim Warren at the address listed below. They collect the fees, and then they send them to the Ohio Township Association. Those dues are $180 because it's $45, and there's 4 people within the township, the elected officials. So it's $180. We only pay it once a year. Howard Septic Service for the portage on that's over at the firehouse is $75. This is for May 19th through June the 19th. Randy Moore Petroleum, this is for all the diesel and gas that was purchased for the township for, when did they come fill it? Would have been 5/12, $1,447.60. And Baum's Lumber was $70, it was for bar and chain oil, trimmer line, glasses for, and, mix for the weed eaters for the cemeteries. That was $70. And that is all the bills that there is at this point. We didn't have anything charged to Tractor Supply, so we got a zero balance. We don't have anything charged as of right now to US Bank when I got the bill, so those were zero balances. We had a withholding voucher for OPERS, $1,875.91. Department of Taxation, which is Ohio, we had $145.41. And that was in February, and then we had another one in March, it was $121.41. Payment voucher for US Bank, which it comes through because it's paid electronically, it came through on this last bank reconciliation. And the total bill for it was $4,790.46. And all but, I have to figure it out. $38.56 was shop expense. It was for gasoline to go to Columbus Diesel to pick up, the tanks, no. It was when you went to Columbus.
Injector line.
The injector line. And then the other one was, a manual that was purchased accidentally, it was $17.11. And it's been sent back. So we have, and then it was the firehouse, it was the Amcus parts. And then we had $629.99 for a 55-gallon of oil from Rural King. And the firehouse had $6.39 worth of connectors from Rural King. Firehouse had $43.91 from State Electric. I don't know what it was for the firehouse. It was a cable strap, black cord.
One of the, short power for one of the engines.
And then we had payment voucher for the second quarter of the fees for the UAN equipment that we have, which is the computers, the printers, and the software that we use, and it was $618, and that's what it is per quarter. Frontier for the firehouse was $159.37, was the fire, or for the thing.
So we have to sign these, or
Yeah, you can just put your initials on them, because they're electronics.
just the top one? All of them, or just the top?
No, just the top page. And that's it for that's all I had on the payments.
reading of the minutes.
These minutes were from the regular meeting on May the 3rd, 2020, Carthage Township Meeting Room at 7 p.m. In attendance was Bob Pullen, Randy Calloway, Chris Nutter, trustees, Gail Buckley, fiscal officer, and C. Sheet for attendance. The attached sheet says Robert Pullen's called the meeting to order with the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. There was no public speaking. Robert Pullens asked for the bills and motion to pay the bills if money is sufficient. Chris Nutter made a motion to pay the bills. Rankin seconded, all approved. Robert Pullens asked for the reading of the minutes. After the minutes were read, Bob asked for a motion to accept the motions with corrections, to accept the minutes with corrections. Manson made a motion to accept the minutes as read with corrections. Chris Nutter seconded, all approved. Correspondence was read and approved. Old business, the radio in the ODOT truck is in working. Miller's took the office unit to repair. The backhoe is at Southeastern and Marietta. The work is complete. Should be back on Tuesday, May the 4th, 2020, waiting on final amount. Fire truck number 55, both heads are bad, checking to see if engine and block are good. Heads are about $600 a piece. Ransom found a complete engine if needed. Warranty is, it's 3-year warranty, 100,000 miles. Free shipping complete, around $3,000. New business, the old loader is in work in progress, needs new back plates. Bob made a motion to purchase the plates. Chris seconded, all approved. The red 350 fill tubes and dipsticks are in and on the truck. Bob made a motion to call Josh Tolliver, whose resume was on file, to work for 6 months at 32 hours a week at $12 an hour. He answered and said that he had an interview with a job. If they offered him more money, he would accept that job. He will let Bob know as soon as he knows something. Trustees said the red 350 and the white dump truck needed replaced in the next few years. Chris made a motion to look at trucks and to have a cap of $12,000 to replace trucks in our fleet. Ransom seconded, all approved. Bob stated there is no monies for infrastructure to fix slips. The cemeteries, Keith said that he would not be able to weed eat cemeteries, however, he could mow. The fire department, the firehouse had rentals of $150 cash. Check for $25. There would be 3 more food box giveaways. The next meeting would be June the 7th, 2021 at 7 o'clock at the Township Building. Sorry. Robert Pullens asked for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Chris made a motion, Ransom seconded, all approved.
Any corrections or additions in there?
Besides the ones I had.
Yeah, Mr.
Hearing no more additions or corrections, I move to accept the minutes with the corrections as noted.
I'll second that motion.
All approved?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence, you have any correspondence?
And I think about to bring that. You guys received, it's from the Athens, Meigs County, Farm Bureau. It just says the Athens, Meigs County Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a partnership between farmers and consumers that meets consumer needs and ensures agricultural prosperity in a global marketplace. Because Farm Bureau is a grassroots organization, it is directed by its members from the county level up. The members define the position the organization takes on issues affecting farmers and rural residents through the annual policy development process. The policies of the Farm Bureau are the backbone of the organization as they provide the framework through which we advocate for family, community, and food security. They help guide efforts to address real community issues such as regulations, funding public education and service and services, environmental protection, animal care, healthcare, landowner rights, and community planning. These policies are used to develop programs, projects, and advocacy at the county, state, and federal level, but just as importantly are used to help guide the yearly plan of work for the Athens-Meigs County Farm Bureau volunteers. As a community leader or an involved Farm Bureau member, we are asking you to provide input on the issues and policies you think need attention in our community. We are asked because as a leader, your experience and perspective is appreciated and valuable to the organization. This is not to stir a debate, but instead a time for reasonable thought and ideas to be heard and considered. Following the submissions, the Farm Bureau Policy Development Committee will provide policy resolutions to the membership body at our annual meeting. Those approved will go on to the Ohio Farm Bureau and then may move on to the Ohio Farm Bureau Federation. We appreciate your feedback. And what it says, you fill out your name, your county of residence, what topics are most important to you, and there's a whole bunch of them: water quality, funding public education and services, environmental protection, healthcare, landowner rights, community planning, animal care, CAUV, or other. What community issues are you most concerned about? Roadways, local government funding, opioid addiction, mental health in rural communities, rural broadband, and other. It says, do you have policy suggestions for the Athens-Meigs County Farm Bureau to take into consideration? And then the question on the back says, do you have any updates or concerns from your office that you would like the Athens-Meigs County Farm Bureau to be aware of? And then it gives you 3 lines, and then it's any comments. So that is a public, and then we return it by July the 30th. That's when all the things have to be put back into, have to be sent back to them.
Well, roads are the main concern. Local government funding is another one. You can say something about roads
It
there.
says roadways, local government funding, the opioid addiction, I can't even talk today. Mental health in rural communities, rural broadband, which is your internet. And then the other ones that are important to you are water quality, funding for public education and services, environmental protection. Environmental protection is one, because I'm assuming it goes in with the, stone quarry. Healthcare, landowners' rights, I'm assuming that is one that someone wants to know about. And community planning.
Community planning.
And then the CAUV, which if you have a farm, some of you have that, the CAUV funding. And then, does anyone have any policy suggestions for the Athens-Meigs County Farm Bureau to take into consideration?
Yeah, help us get some money.
I just put on here how to find funding that is available to townships or government agencies.
Okay.
And then the last one is, do you have any updates or concerns from your office that you would like the Athens-Meigs County Farm Bureau to be aware of?
You got more?
Yes, we received from, it's through Diamond Stone, it's Jurgensen Aggregates, and they own a whole bunch of, they own, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 different companies that they're under. They just wanted to, have our email information and update on our email and our, address information. We got the F-550 back from Don Wood. That was the one that was involved in the accident. It was not our fault. Right now, the bill is, we received a bill, it was $9,080.56 that the gentleman that hit us if one of our workers, that their insurance will pay for it. But that's what the total bill was on the cost to have the truck repaired. We received, that was it for Twin Oaks Refrigeration. It was for, they sent a proposal to install a 30,000 BTU LP hanging wall heater with an LP line and regulator. It included, would be $1,265. That's what that one is. Of course, this was from before, it just was in my May paperwork. We received a bill from Frontier on damage that was sustained supposedly to their line on, Barnhouse Road. And then the bill that I received, it goes to the attorney's office, it goes to the assistant prosecutor's office, and then they're the ones that handle it.
What road was that, Barnhart?
Barnhouse, did I say Barnhouse? I'm sorry, Barnhouse.
Driveway there, that's been
Years,
4 years
I think.
ago.
Maybe 5.
It said on, and I don't remember, it gave the actual date, I don't remember what it was.
That's when we dug all that out down through and put that
Put that
culvert,
culvert
and
in.
threw that rock and everything.
We received our first half settlement real estate tax. I think we received it. That is the first half real estate. We received a total of $157,874.12. The general fund received $39,721.81. Inside Road and Bridge was $37,019.03. Fire was $25,458.04. Road maintenance, which is only for chip and seal, that's all this money can be used for, was $46,396.02. And then the cemetery fund received $9,279.22. The fire, the road maintenance, which is the chip and seal, and the cemetery are all levies that have to be renewed.
This year,
The fire has to be renewed this year.
go back to chip and seal.
The chip and seal was, I believe, last year. I think.
Okay,
It's not due this year. The only one that's due is the fire.
Well, let's get that.
Yes, and it'll be in the next meeting. It'll be in the next meeting paperwork, because I have to call over to them and have to put the application in.
Right.
This is just inspections, reinventing the way inspections are done. It doesn't really pertain to us because we don't do any type of inspections, but it comes in. The fire department received for a fire that they had fought, brush fire in April. We received a $70 check, which I think that was one that was in last month. We have Monday, the U.S. Treasury issued guidance for the ARPA and opened the portal for local governments to receive fiscal recovery funds. This one is still a little, I'm still trying to figure this one out. This is for the COVID relief fund they did last year. They gave it to the counties then in turn divvied up the monies and then gave it to the townships. If the township used all of the fund, then they got the first amount of funds everybody got. The second amount of funds, that was an extra amount that everyone received. The third round was if your township didn't spend any of that or had extra left, then it went back to the county and then they redistributed it a third time. They're telling us that they're giving us, it's fundage, but it's called the American Rescue Plan Act, which from everything that I've been reading, it's basically an extension of the COVID fundage. But they're not giving it to they're not dividing it the same way they did. The paperwork that I received, you have to go in, make sure you have your DUNS number, you have to have all of your bank account information on there, just like when we receive grants, that's how the money is funneled into the townships. It's done through our DUNS number. So as of right now, our DUNS number is on file, all of our information is up to date. So we are waiting for information to come from Jill Thompson's office to help facilitate us gaining fundage. We don't know if we'll actually be able to obtain it on the township level. The county, it sounds like the county and the states are getting fundage, but they're not 100% sure on the township level. And that's where we're at on that one.
Last one I had, there wasn't, the local government and townships wasn't involved in that this time.
Yeah, and as
They
I
have to
said,
redo the bill.
but this is the information that I have so far. We got the Ohio Labor Law Poster Service, which we already have one up. Most of these, they want us to buy them, but they have them on file. I mean, you can download them for free. That is it. Our two new, the fire department had all of their, fiscal information. They had their meeting last Wednesday, and what their ending balance was, what their beginning balance was through the fire department. And I'll read it to you if anyone wants to hear it. The beginning balance was $95,185.79. The ending balance, the beginning balance was $95,185.79. The ending balance was $108,811.76. You have to set back aside $42,000, which has been set aside for the litigation through Coolville. Also, there is a balance of $29,275 out of the $40,000 loan for the building that they're building at the firehouse to house the fire trucks. We received our first half of our real estate. They had a net of $25,996.94, and the ending balance available to spend is $37,536.76. But again, it also has to last until we'll have a fall real estate tax, but it's usually less than what the spring is, because most people pay all of theirs in the spring. That's all I have for my correspondence.
You're building another new building at the fire department
Just a little building, put that fire truck in out there.
for $30,000.
I should price lumber today. That all comes out of our fire fund anyway, we can't spend it for nothing anyway. Just like our chip and seal money, that's just for chip and seal, and that's all, you know? Whole business.
Base radio's back, supposed to be working. They worked on that radio, it'll be installed in the new white truck. And it's supposedly fixed, but the guy said there's still an issue with it or something, so.
They said it didn't work right over Lodi Friday, I don't know.
Yeah, we may check it out tomorrow.
Last he told me was he thought he figured it out between all of them, and thought they had it working by the end of the day.
Oh, okay.
They thought, I'm not sure. I didn't get a total update on last Friday.
Any more old business? Then we'll move on to new business. Chip and seal this year, who wants to go first and who wants to go last?
Well, money-wise right now, it looks like we've got enough money to probably go ahead and get all of the liquid. If we want to do all three, like in the next month or two, instead of waiting for one to come fall, we've got enough stone out there, should have enough piled in to do all three, so if we want to do all three within the next month and a half or whatever, it looks doable.
I'll be, depending on the weather, getting the road ready.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
Is this balance once after you truck a stone out for the chip and seal out here.
Yes,
And I think that's it from that.
except for what is at, except for the May bill, I don't know, I don't have it yet. I don't know how much more was,
We shouldn't have got
I
it in May.
don't think.
That should all been hauled in April.
Yeah, be very little, if
I
there
have,
was any.
I have tickets in there for May. But I don't have an invoice from Cochran yet.
It shouldn't have been the 64s for
Do you
chip
know what
and seal.
the number of the material is?
Well, I have to go look.
Well,
No, I don't know. I have to go look.
We only have $20,000 in road and bridge right now.
Yes.
Long time, September, October. I know last year when we finished up, we had $1,000 left.
mhm.
We just get by the best we can. That's what we buy. We shouldn't have to buy too much more stone right now since it's dried up and the soft spots are gone.
Yeah. Just have to get some material to level up places.
I mean, we're gonna use 617s in that,
Mm-hmm.
so I figured.
Chris, did you say that the guys were working on
My
filling
wife has
potholes
just
today?
17, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, me and Tyler went out, we showed off about 5 ton, I'm gonna try doing our 5 ton in the morning before noon. Got something going on in the afternoon, so that's gonna be the goal anyway.
It's filling potholes with cold mix.
Mhm. On chip and seal roads, right, you know, we're not using it on the
No.
gravel
Yeah,
roads.
yeah.
Alright, so, I agree with the statement you made a while ago, we use all the money up, best we can,
Mm-hmm.
but who wants to go first?
Well,
Who's got the least
I'd say
to
whoever
do to get
needs
ready?
the least amount of work. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Dutch Ridge ain't that bad. See, Dutch Ridge and Bobo,
You gonna do some on the grinder?
Griner takes all my allotment.
What needs build up?
Well, I don't know for sure, I have to go around.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna do this morning, all the trucks were tied up,
Yeah.
that I did in the morning, but how much you got to do on yours?
Not so awful much. We've got a little bit to do on Dixon. Well, Jordan Run always needs
They always need
a
to
lick,
do.
and a promise here and there.
Why don't we plan on yours?
You be
Chris
first.
has the biggest mileage.
He does.
Yeah, and I got a little bit here and there everywhere to do. Some of them aren't too bad and some of them need, we've got, some of them need a fair bit.
Why don't we do yours, then mine, then his, like we did last year, that way
Works for me.
we see what we got left at the end of the year,
Yeah.
and we can go back and catch up places that we need to put some down.
Ransom. Chris.
Yeah, cause I end up doing spot shooting over on where we shot last year, like Moyes and Brister and
I might
119 and,
just spot shoot mine this year.
Now, I skipped Sam Rock, which is down there by Garner's, last year. It's holding pretty good. I'll have to reevaluate that one. Because there's very little travel on it,
yeah,
and it's short, it's what,
Well, Blackwood needs done up that hill or days.
yeah, we gotta build that up, get it,
Yeah,
get it.
They
it
tore out
needs-
all the pieces.
It needs to
Yeah.
build up and let them pack it in.
And
It'll be a little dusty for a little while, but
well, perhaps it ought to be brought up, leveled up, and then give it some time for traffic to pack it in, and then maybe do it again before chip and seal.
wouldn't hurt. It's in
Yeah.
rough shape right now.
What about, do you think that grinding would stay on there if we put it on there and packed it in?
I wondered that, I don't know. I thought about that.
I did too, I mean, if we could put the roller on it would, but we never hold that roller on that hill.
Not on that hill.
No, not on grinding.
We had a rubber car roller.
Yeah.
Rubber
It's sliding the hall up to the back of the line.
I've had that thing take over the hill with me like a bobsled 3 times.
Yeah, you gotta watch it, it's best for level
Best you
ground.
could do would be roll it with a loaded truck, and then you can't cover the whole road.
Mhm.
Right. So Ransom, Bob, and Chris, and you're gonna do,
I wrote them down wrong, man. I wrote me, Chris, and then you. Other way around.
I can go last, that's fine, we got some needs build up and needs time to pack in, so.
What's the order again? Ransom? Who's
Bob,
second?
and Chris.
That's not what I had written down. Oh, well.
Works for me. Or whoever else needs it done. Everything's subject to change.
Yeah, we got the second half in, which won't be only about $7,000 probably. No, that won't only buy a tanker for it.
No,
Next time, about 10, depending on the price this
been
year.
on price this year.
It's a
They go
petroleum
up every
product,
year,
so it's
about-
probably raised like,
I haven't even heard from the county yet. I figured when we got a little closer to getting ready to do it, we'd call them, I mean, that's gonna be the cheapest route to go, wherever they get it from, which they've been getting it from up there where we've always got it from for the last several years, yeah.
They got
Asphalt
the county
material.
bid on it, so they gotta sell it to the same price.
Yeah, I'm assuming it'll be somewhere around $1.90. I don't figure it'll be much over 2 if it does hit 2. Cause they got that price locked in typically back in March, so.
Okay.
We'll figure it out before we get ready to spray.
I'd like to go into executive session for about 10 minutes to discuss an employee.
Okay. Ransom, do we have anything else we need to discuss in executive session?
yes, I have an item. I didn't know you were gonna bring up executive. I was going to as well. So, yeah, I'm good with it. But there's a second item that we need to address in session.
Okay.
What is it? I have to put it in the minutes.
It's pertaining to the litigation.
Okay, so you made the motion to go into executive?
I just brought it up.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.